see. Italian food, I like it. The people inside like it too. We get it and eat together. Probably at different tables. But I like Italian, they like Italian. We're all in an Italian restaurant. That's how it happens, as simple as it is. And if we keep that state of emotion and those tastes, this spirit company is going to be with us. That's when addictions may mount to high levels. Or great inspiration. Two sides of it. Because we connect with minds and they potentiate the experience. And evil spirits, the fourth category, which are spirits that are so imperfect and sometimes weak. You want to do an exercise to understand what is to be discarnate? Pretend you're invisible and you're here. Feel it. I'm invisible. Wow, great. What can you do if you're invisible? What do you want to do right now? Not from this line forward. What would you do? I would get my microphone and sing. Oh, really? So let's say I like singing. Now let's say if I were good at singing, this one would come. I'm going to sing that. And sing a bad song. Let's say, because these are not very bold spirits. And they would, if I am not very well aligned, they would come and start singing in the rain. Singing in the rain. It's not a bad song, right? I don't even go there because I don't want to judge you if it's a good song or bad song. But these are the minds of the weak spirits. They know they are invisible to many of us. And they come and say, I can go there. Imagine if you're in a mall. Inside of a mall, and people say you're invisible. What would you do if you're feeling like rigged? Or if you were? Because we're not. They are. We're not. Right? That's how we feel. We're so good. We're never perfect. Talking about bullying. Do you think bullying only happens in the incarnate life? No. Only amongst children. Our children are only experiencing what we teach them. If there is bullying at school, somebody taught those children. Maybe they are being bullied by the parents, or by their own family members, cousins, amongst themselves. And I go to school filled with that anger because family, I cannot do much, go there and compensate by projecting that anger onto others, start being the blame person at school. But adults do the same. When we look at somebody and say, oh, you like green? Or like us girls. You like pink? And then I buy a pink laptop, go to work. And my work colleagues may say, oh really, you're not very serious because you like pink. That is something that the spirits in the spirit realm can do as well. They start teasing us, challenging us, bullying us in forms of thoughts saying, you never amount to anything. You're a loser. And you start hearing those things and we think it's our own mind. And it's the open door to these spirits that even doesn't say, no, don't even try to plan a beautiful honeymoon because it's not going to work. Every time you plan, you know what happens? Disaster. Who is saying that? We're not alone. We are never alone. But what types of feelings in us are open as outlets for these minds to plug in? Feelings. How do I empower myself to higher levels. How do I do this? I need to align my sixth sense with the Christ consciousness. It's not a sectarian concept. The Christ consciousness here is beyond a man who was incarnated. Jesus came to teach us about a way of living, not to be inside of a church or a spiritist center. That does not save anybody's life. That is going to be an opportunity to inform ourselves about our true nature. How can we do this? Align these connections that we have in our network at higher levels, not to allow these suggestions of undermining us dictate who we are, and maintaining these levels of connections to lower levels, but boost them to higher levels. How can I connect with the spirits that are mentoring the city of Toronto? What are you talking about, Vanessa? We know that everything is on the planet Earth is under the guidance and the order of a spirit governor. Jesus. But he's not alone. He has a huge team. A team of good spirits that are everywhere and elsewhere. And they have orders. So cities have mentors. When we look at the mayor, we pray for the mayor. Do we pray for the mayor? Oh, but he is a wreck. We should pray because he is under the supervision of these adult spirits. And say, dear adult spirits, may find in him a heart permeable to your suggestions. What about us? If we are living in Toronto, or in Montreal, or somewhere in Canada, the spirit mentors, they are allowing us to live here. If we want to connect high, we need to know more about the history of the place we're living in. To connect with the minds that are in charge of the progress of this land. Our lives will be boosted to another level. Because these minds are special. They are concerned, they are so altruistic that they think more about ourselves than themselves. That's true charity, loving action. May I plan my life around the goodness that can be done to others. So many human beings have done this. For Moses. Can you imagine Moses? He was the prince of Egypt. One of them. At a time when life was quite difficult. He gave up the luxury of the time, the wings of the family, to fight for a greater cause. That's altruism. He didn't gain anything directly at the time, people thought. We know the behind the scenes now. But it was very difficult. It was very hard. But the reward was an inner reward of the clear conscience. And that's when, aligning ourselves with the higher forces, we feel like Moses. No matter if I give up what society is telling me. Society is telling us today, you are only successful when you have a career, the best cars, the best neighborhood, and you look pretty and healthy, etc., etc. And use the best roads, etc., etc. And we go home, we look around, and don't feel like it, and we feel like a loser. Moses, he had it all. And he said, that is not all. It's beyond it. When Jesus came, He came out of all of these things. He was above and beyond it. And all the great men and women in our society, look at Gandhi. He was a lawyer. He had a problem with anger. He gave up a lot of things to fight for his people. When we say fight, it's not in that sense of the word, but to pursue that goal that was higher. But it needs to align with our feelings. How do we do it? Can you also do it? Can I also do it? Why not? If we're all children of God, like Jesus, like Moses, like Gandhi, like Mother Teresa, we are all children of God. So if we are, how can we boost our sixth sense in this alignment with this Christ consciousness? So let us see. If we go to the Medium's book, we see that the only way to work on our sixth sense is to understand the recommendations of Christ. And what are they? What do you mean, Vanessa? It's not that complicated. It's only one thing. Only one? Yes. Question number 1 of the Spirit's book. God, if I align my feelings, knowing that God exists, I'm done. How so? I look at my child and I say, my child, I want you to succeed. What do we tell our children often? You need to succeed, know what you want. And our child is like, know what I want? I don't know what I want. And when they're teenagers, it's going to work so. I don't know. What do I want? Career? Family? I don't know. And they're like, I don't know. They roll their eyes. They think we're crazy. And is that the right teaching? Probably not. But if we say, align your feelings with God, and your will with God's will, and everything's solved. When I feel something, anger, let's say I'm feeling anger, because it's natural at the level that I am. Anger. I'm feeling angry. How long am I going to feel this anger? When I know that God is everywhere and elsewhere. And it's not that child concept that our grandparents used to say, like, don't do this because God is looking at you. He's watching you. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, oh God, I am frustrated about this scenario. How? I know you're allowing it to happen. Not that you agree, but if you're allowing it to happen with me, something I need to learn. What is it? Please show it to me. Because I'm feeling so frustrated, so angry, so anxious, so afraid. And then I open. Paul and Stephen, first chapters. Joshua was the father of 2. They were Jews. They were Hebrews who followed through the Old Testament, the law of Moses, brought by Moses. God's everything. The Romans of the time were quite cruel. Life sometimes can be quite cruel. In this economy, in the crisis of today, how many people have been out of their jobs? Out of the blue, overnight. Like Joshua. He was living in this Roman unjust time. And they wanted his land. He was furious.